Oh, I did that whole thing muted, I think. Can everybody hear me now?
I hear you now.
Yep, I can hear you.
All right. Well, I did the whole introduction muted, so let's do it all over again. Welcome to the 2022 Ocean Cup, coming to you live from Huntington Beach, California. This is an endurance event going around Catalina Island. I am Mike Yawoski, bringing you this event live today. With me today is Martin Sanborn, Eric Nordskog, and Tom Stewart from MTI. Gentlemen, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
We are here. Thank you.
So sorry about all the technical difficulties. We've been trying to get some of this program here worked out. It's been one of those years, as everybody knows, with COVID and everything that's happening. A lot of new things to learn technically here, a lot of virtual meetings and so on and so forth, which is what we're doing here. But I think we're finally getting it figured out as Martin comes back into the picture here. So as I said, we're bringing you the Ocean Cup live. We're going to run over the list of entries here in just a second. We do understand from race control that the MTI, the boat called Alpha, I believe. Is that right, Tom?
It should be labeled MTI.
It is labeled MTI. You're right. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yep.
MTI Center Console is going to be the first boat to run since we've got the MTI aficionado on here with us, Tom Stewart. MTI, tell us about this boat.
So this boat's a 42 center console. It's our SV42 model. It's got 5 450s on it, and we've been building the boat since about 2014 when we got into the center console arena, and we've done about 108 of them, and it's a great boat for this type of event, because it's a fast boat. It can handle the rough water, and I think it's going to be really successful today, and I think it's going to hold a record for quite a while.
Well, if you guys were listening earlier where we're trying to get our technical difficulties worked out, I was asking Tom about Taylor Scism's race boat and whether we thought that may end up coming out here. They have a pretty busy schedule. They were in Clearwater last weekend. They'll be in Fort Myers, Florida next weekend. But he said, there's always a chance, right, Tom?
Always. Yeah. You never know.
Yeah, especially with Randy and Taylor. There's probably a little bit of jumping always going around with them, but very cool to see a center console out here. When Janet and Nigel Hook and the entire Lucas Oil team put this together, the Ocean Cup team put this together, they want to incorporate the center consoles, and that's what they did. They actually put a section of rules in just for the center console. So it's really good to see a center console out here, be it an MTI, 5 450s on it. You can't get much cooler than that.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be I think it's a good class that they're going to start doing, and because the boats keep getting faster and faster, and these guys are doing more than just fishing with these boats now, and getting up in an 80, 90 mile an hour speed range. You can start doing things like this, and I think you'll start seeing it'll pick up, and I think a lot more people will start doing it.
No, and that's awesome. Excuse me, I'm just changing my view here so you don't see my entire kitchen. So unfortunately, I was planning to be out there in California with you guys, but COVID has gotten the best of my family. I had it, then my wife had it, then my son had it. So that's why I am coming to you from Annapolis. I had plans to fly out there as of Thursday, but didn't work out. So here I am. The rest of the broadcast team is out there. Martin and Eric, can you guys hear us?
Yes, we can. So actually, the MTI is underway. We're looking at our live stream. He's running 75 miles an hour. He is now on the course.
We're just trying to protect him.
Here, running right at 77.
So Martin and Eric, can you give us a weather report? You guys talked about it briefly earlier.
Yeah, the weather's absolutely beautiful today here. It's sunny. It's going to be warm. The high pressure system that is coming to California. I'm looking at the surf right now. It actually looks, 4-foot swell, nice small flat chop out there.
And stronger.
Pretty clear. We've got really good visibility, so it looks like it's going to be a good run for them today.
And when they started their engines.
And the MTI, Tom, that boat's doing 77, flipping 80 every once in a while. Given the conditions, is that what we're going to see for speed out of that boat today?
Yeah, I think you probably will. If it gets some smoother water, and once they get comfortable and get warmed up, I think you may even see up in the mid 80s. But it really depends on the water conditions and how they're feeling with the boat. I think the biggest thing with them is they want to make sure that they finish the race and they do it safely, because the first year they'll establish a record and then they'll defend it after that.
And right now they were running just at 80 miles an hour, so they've dropped off a little bit on their speed, but it's all about consistency on this. You got to get around the island.
Yeah, and I believe once they get to the backside of that island, things may change a little bit.
So Martin, tell us in.
Oh, go ahead.
No, sorry. And I apologize if I step on you guys. You're again still quieter than Tom and I, so it's a little harder to hear you. But what were you saying, Martin?
It's about a 26-mile run out to the island. They're going to make a right-hand turn at what we call Ship Rock. It's a big landmark right off the island. You can't miss it. Then they're going to go around the island counterclockwise, and it's about 26 miles long. But by the time they add it all up together, as they come back around Avalon, go back to Ship Rock and make a right-hand turn, come back, it's about 128 miles, I think, is our total. And Patriotic Duty is winding up right now. They're up to speed. They're now coming up towards the start chute. They're running just about 60, 62, 64. They're accelerating as they get ready to make their turn at the pier. And head out. So once everybody gets spread out, I'm looking at two different screens. I've got one screen with it. I can see the whole island all the way out. So once they get spaced out, we'll be able to see their speeds and where they are. Then I've got a nice close-up of the beach where they're running. And Patriotic Duty now is running just over 70 miles an hour as they're getting ready to make their turn at the Iowa start boat.
That low, huh? Oh, and in case you missed it, talking to the track tonight,
The
it's like
MTI
Queen
is
finding
well
yet
on its way
another
right now.
way to embarrass himself at a demolition derby.
Now, as Martin, have you ever done this run?
I've been to Catalina 100 times, but I have not gone all the way around the island in a race. I've been out there and played, and I've pulled skiers in the Catalina ski race multiple times. There we just go from Long Beach to Avalon and back. So this is a different race. I've been here for it, but never run all the way around it. Had an opportunity to run a boat in it this weekend, but you decided I can't be in two places at once.
Well, I probably would have jumped on the opportunity to run it, but of course, you're helping me out by being here because I couldn't make it this weekend. So thanks for that.
Yeah. Well, I happen to be in town. This is my hometown, so I enjoy being here.
Janet told me that earlier in the week. I did not know you were from there.
Yep.
And Eric Nordskog, you're from out that way also?
Yes, sir. I'm from the San Fernando Valley here, Mike. I'm writing on the chat here. They can hear the chicken volume or something be in the background.
Yeah, your background noise is real loud, Mike.
Oh, background. Oh, much better. Oh, that's a lot better. Beautiful.
All right. Sorry about that. Had the volume up for the Cars 3, the 4-year-old entertainment that's keeping things going on here today. Sorry about that, guys.
Much better.
And I see the Bat Boat is now underway. They are up and running. They're running 70 miles an hour heading towards the Alpha start boat.
Martin, which Bat Boat ended up making it?
The one with the Ilmore, the open cockpit one.
The open one, the black one.
Yes, the black open cockpit one.
Okay. It was pretty cool. I had been texting back and forth with Chris Rendell. He is actually working on an electric boat. They've been manufacturing a lot of their own pieces in-house and stuff for it. He was trying to take it to Lotto, couldn't make it. I know it was trying to make it out here. Not sure what happened, but it'll be very cool when that project gets going because, as everybody knows in the world, everything's going to electric these days.
Yeah, I'm going to miss the sound of the race engines.
Well, you don't want to hear that 450 boat run because that doesn't sound much like race engines either.
No. I keep dropping my my tracking keeps dropping on the main computer.
It's frozen up on mine a couple times too. So, Martin and Tom, tell us about running this MTI in these conditions. An outboard center console. What do you think it's like for these guys out there? Throttling the boat, running the boat, trimming the boat. I mean, these are pretty smart engines, and they're going to prevent them from getting in trouble. But what's it like for these guys? First time doing something like this.
Well, I'll jump in because I know that Tom is with MTI, so he knows. But from an outside perspective, I talked to those guys yesterday as well, and basically they could have 10 more people on that boat listening to tunes, having a cocktail. That's what kind of a ride that boat produces. One of the things I really enjoy about the MTI is the way the thing turns also, but they're ultimately out there just looking for a nice smooth ride. And like he said, this is the first time we've had center consoles in an offshore universe. So having them out there actually competing, this is pretty cool. They're going to set the bar, and rest assured there's going to be a number of other center console guys going out there. We can beat that. I mean, center consoles today are well up into the 90-mile-an-hour range potentially. So expect to see this class grow, even though the reality is there's ups and downs about an open cockpit boat that doesn't have bolster seating to give you a little bit of support. So we'll see how it all grows. These guys they're setting the bar. They're going to be the benchmark for what we're doing here in this sport.
Well, obviously, we want to thank MTI for being involved. Have Tom come out. We did a record run back here in Maryland back in July. Tom and the MTI team had come out for that, so they're really showing their support from it. Tom, a little fun joking about the other center consoles. You think Nortec or Fountain or any of these guys going to come hunting for you in a year or so? Oh, and Tom is
I don't see
off.
Tom on there, but I can tell you that I'm pretty sure Fountain will go after it. Nortec has a boat that's fast. Cigarette's not about speed, so I don't know that I'd expect to see Cigarette jumping out there. You might have some teams that want to do it. Mystic's one of the boats that's fast. Fountain's one of the boats that's fast. Nortec's one of the boats that's fast. And, we've got a number of boats on the East Coast down in South Florida that build boats that might want to play in this arena.
Well, but Martin, even the center consoles to me, the Contenders, the Invincibles, the Blackfins, those boats are even very fast being step bottom boats. It's not just the offshore boats that are capable of running fast, but a lot of these other fishing boats that are going out and doing these big tournaments offshore, they're becoming very fast as well.
True, but then I think some of those manufacturers might be hesitant to have their boats out there in a competition universe. We saw this with other manufacturers that were reluctant to get into offshore initially as far as powerboat racing. Formula wasn't exactly thrilled about having the 382s out there, and then they ultimately made that decision. The boats ended up being very competitive. So ultimately, I would expect to see some of those guys might come out there, but I think it's going to be more driven by an individual rather than a manufacturer. I think Nortec as a manufacturer will push. I think Fountain as a manufacturer will push because they really kind of focus on the performance, and those are the guys you see in the poker room.
Right. They're the ones that are trying to build the fast center consoles.
Correct. The other guys are gentlemen center consoles that have a little bit of performance and perhaps a little bit of speed as a benefit, but that's not their primary function. No,
not by any means. Martin, what's it? I mean, you think they're really having to throttle those 450 boat that much?
Not today. That boat's a nice big heavy boat. It's going to have just a beautiful ride. He's going to have the throttle set where it's comfortable, and they're just going to let her read. Now, when they get on the back end of the island, that could change because that's where it's always a crapshoot on the back end of the island. It can be really bumpy. We had a little bit of wind last night, so we've had some breeze, but like I said, it's blowing offshore. But blowing offshore, the island is going to block the wind, so it could still be lumpy.
So we've got a Pisa, the Scarab, the diesel-powered Scarab is up and running. The Bat boat is up and running. Bat boat did blip up towards 70, but now have slowed back down to the 50s. Martin, a Pisa is a very interesting boat too, being a Scarab hull, a Larry Smith Scarab hull powered by diesels.
Well, it's not just powered by diesels. And when I pulled in yesterday, I haven't seen very many of them on this coast, but it's got Fabio Buzzi drives on it. So it's got a rudder behind each prop shaft. They're the supported strut, Fabio Buzzi drives. When I saw it yesterday, I didn't realize it was a diesel boat because that's what those drives really like. They don't perform real well with gasoline engines. We tried it at Fountain when we were doing that stuff in the Dream Team era where we had Fabio Buzzi building boats with us. And they work great for diesels because they like low RPM and high torque, or high RPM and mid-range torque. They just vibrate themselves to pieces. So this is a great combination. Should be incredibly reliable. And, Larry Smith, a West Coast boat builder for Scarab, so it's neat to see that boat out here running. And I think all we're waiting for right now, waiting for Lucas to get the go-ahead. And they're going to be the last boat to start. And it looks like they are now running up to speed and heading north up the coast, getting ready to make their turn.
Yeah, so we have lost the MTI and the tracker from what I can see. I don't know if their unit has switched off, but I have lost MTI, but we still have the Bat boat going. We still have a Pisa going. Patriotic Duty has frozen too, so I'm not sure what's going on with them as well. Also on our stream today, guys, you may recognize the last name Nordskog, famous Powerboat Magazine offshore racer Bob Nordskog. Well, this is his grandson, right, Eric?
That's me.
So this is Bob Nordskog's grandson, Eric Nordskog. He joined me last year when it was just the two of us doing this, again, remotely because of COVID. Eric, welcome back.
Thank you for having me. Back again this year and looking forward to a really good run today. We got a lot more boats this year than last year, and I believe that this will create create so much buzz for next year that we're going to get a lot of people coming out next year. This event is just going to grow and grow and grow. We're really looking forward to having more exciting races on the West Coast here. It's been a long time since we've had West Coast racing, so this is very exciting. So let's get to it.
Well, Pacific Offshore was one of the top clubs back when I started racing. And in fact, one year the Pacific Offshore guys won every U.S. national championship, and then it just kind of stopped off. There just wasn't as many boats out here racing, not as many guys doing it. So looking forward to seeing that grow a little bit.
Well, and Martin, you talk about that. It became, when racing picked up on the East Coast, it was just a long way for guys to travel out there to the West Coast. That's mainly what it was.
Well, the West Coast guys were traveling to the East Coast. We always used to tease the East Coast guys that they wouldn't come any farther west than Texas. So we'd all join up on Father's Day in South Padre Island, and that's where or Corpus Christi, and those were our races there. The West Coast guys were all running the national tour, which was on the East Coast. And that one year we won every championship in every class.
That's awesome to hear.
Challenge to the East Coast guys, as an East Coast guy myself, now living in South Florida.
So I still don't see the MTI on the tracker. So I think mine has.
Looks like all of them have stopped on the
Lucas Oil's running right now. They're 115 miles an hour right now. They've made their turn and they're actually heading out. So it's not going to take long for them to catch up to everybody, but the rest of the boats have all stalled on our tracker, so we have no idea where they're going, how fast they're going.
Well, and Lucas Oil, Martin, is a cool story. This is a brand new boat to Jay and Nigel. If anybody well, you won't recognize the boat because it's even a completely different color, but this is actually a Mystic-powered catamaran, or Mystic-built catamaran, powered by the Mercury 1350 engines, if I'm reading correctly.
Yeah, I think it's actually the dual calibration motors in that, but I'm sure they're running in 1350 mode. And this is formerly known as Envy.
Yep, owned by Chris Cox, 50 feet long, 57 feet long, actually. And that's on the trailer. I apologize, 51 feet long, right. They actually just got this boat back in the middle of the summer. Herb Stotler, who helps take care of their V-bottom, actually also took care of Envy and worked closely with Chris Cox. So they were able to get this boat purchased, but it had to undergo some major work to be made into what it's into now. So it's, I was talking to Janet and Nigel about it earlier in the week, and been a lot of work on this boat, plus just getting it to California.
Yeah, that was certainly a lot of work to get done. And this boat's unique in that it was originally built as a pleasure boat when it was Envy. So this boat has hatches all over it. It's set to be able to carry more than just the driver and a throttleman. So it has some great marketing opportunity potential for Lucas Oil, that they can take people out and really give some people the thrill. That was always something that was a big deal, when we could put somebody in a boat and give them an experience that, only those of us that have been in canopied race boats really understand. And when you throw somebody in that boat, it is a really cool feeling.
Because I only had one in. Sorry about that. My kid wanted to know why I only had one earpiece in. So apologize about that. No, it's definitely cool to see it. Nigel Hook has always been a V-bottom guy. Martin, you've known him obviously for years, raced against him multiple times. I was surprised to see him go over into the cat world. Not something that I was expecting to see, again, just because he was the V-bottom guy. It's just what he did.
Right, and now it'd be interesting to see if he actually brings that boat out and races in Class 1, which that boat could fit in there. But I've known Nigel since we were all racing on the West Coast out here. So we go way back when it comes to racing V-bottoms in every class, all the way up to Super V.
All right, so they are up and running just about 100 miles per hour for that Mystic catamaran hull. They even had trouble getting the boat out to California. It was in Georgia at Herb Stotler's place down there by Lake Lanier, and they had some mechanical troubles with the truck, but they finally got it out there. Tom, are you in touch with anybody on the MTI boat? Are they sending you texts, or do you have any communication going on with them right now?
I don't. I haven't had a text from them, but it looks like a lot of the boats are stalled on the screen. But the Lucas Oil boat went right through them. I'll touch base with them.
They're saying the 4G drops out, but they'll pick it up back Catalina.
Oh, I think I remember this problem from last year, Eric. There's like a gap in the signal there.
Yeah.
But we are still reading the Lucas Oil boat, though. I'm showing the Lucas Oil boat running 109 miles an hour. They're just coming up on checkpoint Bravo. They're running 107, 108, 110 miles an hour.
All right, so I hit refresh on my browser, and I was able to get the MTI back up. Still running in the mid to low 70s right now. It's hard for me to judge how far they are from Catalina, but they're. Let me just put it officially to you: they don't look to be that far away.
Yeah, they're about 2/3 of the way from the turn, 2/3 of the way across, coming up on that right-hand turn at Ship Rock.
And Martin, they're going to keep that on their starboard side, make a right turn around that, and that's when they'll start running around the island, correct?
Correct. When they go around the island, they also have to keep, there's another point that they need to stay out because it's a dive area, so they don't want anybody running by the dives.
So, Tom, being a boater, do you wish you were out there doing this as well?
Oh yeah, I've all anytime there's an opportunity to go out on the boat, I always want to take it. But you know, I was going to let these guys do it. It's a father and son duo, and they invited me out, and I wanted to hang out here in the pits and make sure I was ready for them when they got back.
So you're like their crew chief today, then, right? You're the truck
That's
driver
right.
and everything. Yeah.
Yep.
Those are
Wear
the
many
carvers,
hats.
right? The carvers?
And Tom, what is your role with MTI? Tell everybody listening at home.
So I do sales. You know, we're a small company. We have Randy, Taylor, and me. And then we do mostly factory direct sales. We have a couple dealers, but my current role is sales. But because we're a small company, we're many hats. So there could be days I'll be washing boats and driving trucks and doing things like that. But yeah, it's great.
No. Something you've been on
Where's
for weeks.
MTI located at?
MTI is just west of St. Louis
So,
in a little town called Wentzville, Missouri.
And listen, I've been telling them for weeks.
Would you say that Wentzville's halfway between St. Louis and Lotto?
I wouldn't call it halfway. We're probably about a quarter of the way. We're about 2 hours from Lake of the Ozarks.
Yep. Everybody that's done that drive from St. Louis to Lake of the Ozarks knows that drive very well.
Yeah, there's not a
it's a
good
long
airport
one.
to get into. Yeah.
That's actually why they like, we got it. They don't have. I mean,
So
they do.
still, I can still see the MTI running, still running in the low to mid 70s, coming up
So anyway,
on
you have the time.
the rock there, the Ship Rock that Martin was talking about, getting ready to make that right turn. They're not there yet, but they're getting closer. They are right now the only boat that we can see live. And let me refresh here.
And we've gotten some questions that we're looking at, and the reason that we can't see the other boats right now is one, they're in the very middle of the channel. We lose the 4G connection from land, and we'll pick it back up as they get closer to the island. You guys were talking about Taylor. You're running the new Cat in the 450 class. Really cool boat. Is based with us down at Hallover Marine Center, so get a chance to see Taylor rather regularly down in South Florida.
That's absolutely one of my most favorite boats to look at. I just love the colors of that boat. It came out so good.
Yeah, they decided to go with a little bit wilder of a paint scheme and a wrap on the boat, and it really turned out nice. And we have a lot of other people, a lot of other customers interested in doing the same thing. It's running the race boat, so we're trying to help them do that.
Yeah, and we've heard that some Doug Wrights are possibly getting built. We've heard that there's another possible MTIs getting built. So it looks like that class could grow and expand in the future as the 450 class. Definitely a fun class. A little quiet for some of our old school fans, but still a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, I think it is going to grow. There's a lot of people interested in it. It's just a new class, and it takes a while for people to get their boats built, especially nowadays with the coronavirus and having, supply chain issues and things like that. So it's just a little bit slower to build them now. But I think next year will be awesome. And the good thing about it is we'll have plenty of testing in by the time the other people show up to the race course. So we should have a little bit of an advantage, I would say.
Yeah, you guys are going to be dialed in while everybody else is trying to figure it out.
Yep.
Of course, they also started off with a fairly good throttleman in the boat. So that works out pretty well, too.
That does help. Yeah. She has Taylor got really lucky with that. So, and then Taylor's been running with her dad for years and years and years since she could walk. So she has the driving part of it down. That's for sure.
And for those that didn't hear earlier, I mean,
Yeah.
she's in the boat with Johnny Tomlinson, so that's about as good as it gets.
Yep.
Yep. She's also raced that boat with Sean Torrente. She raced with him in Cocoa Beach, right?
Yeah.
Yes, first race.
Yep.
I have to say something. Throttle man? What? We never used them.
That's because your grandfather did everything. He was the man.
Hey, Martin, wait a minute. There's a guy named Brian Forehand. He's the same way.
He is. But you notice, so some of the classes are actually writing in the rules that you can't do that anymore.
Well, I think Class 7 was saying that, because guys were, the outboard class and OPA were saying that. So there were definitely some changes going on there.
Yeah, and generally speaking, I think we do find that when you split it up, it's a little bit quicker in rough water. Smooth water, you might be able to get away with a little bit more. There's a lot going on when you're controlling 2 drives, 2 sets of tabs, and watching all the instruments.
Exactly. Well, we're frozen on what we can see happening. Excuse the background noise.
Like the MTI
Apparently, my son
had
wanted some ice.
about.
Starting to see.
Bouncing off 80 miles an hour right now.
Yeah, they're still doing good.
Nice big boat.
Yeah, they've actually averaged between 70 and 80 the entire time.
Yeah, they're having a nice run out there.
And when I talked to them
So,
yesterday, they thought that's where their speeds were going to be. They were just going to put it on cruise control and let it go.
Eric, how fast? Or I'm not Eric. I'm sorry, Tom. How fast can that boat go?
That boat will go. I always say just over 90 because I like to be realistic. But I think that boat's seen 93, 94 miles an hour.
And that's with the 450 setup, right?
Yeah, with 5 of them. If you do a quad engine setup, you can be in the mid 80s on those boats.
And the only reason there's not 6 on there is because they don't fit.
That's right.
Or in some cases, they fall off of other manufacturers every once in a while.
Yeah.
In 1976,
Only on occasion.
The world's record was 90 miles an hour in an offshore boat. So these guys are definitely way over that at this point.
Yeah, in that MTI, you could get mid 80s and just be cruising along, and you can leave your baseball hat on. You can talk to everybody around you. It's got a nice big windshield to block all the wind, and the boat just really handles nice. You don't really drive the boat, you just guide it. It's a very stable boat and a very safe boat, and that's why a lot of people are liking them. And it's a great boat for what we're doing today too.
And with that slot V, it really turns unique, different than most other V bottoms. It has a little bit of a cat vibe to it. It really hooks up when it turns. It's a neat riding boat.
It turns pretty flat too, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. It'll turn as hard as you can hold on to the boat, basically. What Randy ended up doing when he built the first one is he went a little bit deeper with the V in the front, so he ended up going to a 26-degree dead rise in the front to cut the waves. But then in the back of the boat, he kind of went, from his racing heritage and from cats and put a tunnel in there to bring the air in from the sides of the boat, lock it in under the boat. So that did a few things. It made the boat faster. It made it more fuel efficient. But with the 2 keels, it also makes it track really straight, and then it makes it handle like it's on rails. So it's people love the way they ride and love the way they handle.
All right, Patriotic Duty has popped back up onto our screen now. They're running about 65 miles an hour. And again, they're about 2/3 of the way across the channel, coming up on Shiprock.
So Patriotic Duty is an Outer Limits catamaran. I'm sorry, Outer Limits catamaran, Outer Limits V bottom, one of the 2 open boats here, 50 feet long boat number F18.
Neat thing about that boat, these guys are from up north, Northern California, and they're basically putting this boat together for speed record run stuff. This is a shakedown. They're switching it over to Mercury 1350s with M8 drives after this event, and they're going to try to do some of the West Coast runs from San Francisco down to Southern California and see if they can knock some of those records into their books.
So, Martin, let's ask a question here. We're seeing about a 10-mile-an-hour speed difference between Patriotic Duty and MTI. What do you think is causing that?
The guy on the throttle said he didn't want to push the motors. These motors he said they're a little bit tired, and that's why they're coming out of the boat right after this event. So they wanted to just cruise around, finish the race, and those motors and that powertrain comes completely out of the boat. It's going to get turned into a beast with Mercury 1350s.
Well, that'll be cool to see. But it is good to see this boat out there, and they are of course racing for all of our armed services, the military, the Army, Navy, Marines, and Air Force, but also our fire department, our EMS, our police officers, everybody that makes events like this happen, keep us safe so we can come out here and do events like this.
I was talking to Tony last night at the drivers' meeting, and he was telling me that he is definitely getting the boat prepared to try to break my grandfather's record from San Francisco to Marina del Rey, which would be interesting. I believe the record is like 5 hours and 20-something minutes, somewhere around there, I believe. So that should be really awesome. It's Tony Adams, and we got Alan Bellinghausen and Steve Seaton in the Patriotic Duty boat.
Now we're told that the Lucas Oil boat should be popping up our screen here pretty soon. They were saying they're getting close to Shiprock, but I don't see them on our screen yet. They're still locked out their ways. Let me see.
Yep, still don't have them yet. Still got Patriotic Duty, and I've got MTI. If it's locking up at home, sometimes what you can do is just hit refresh. It'll take you all the way back out to the panned out view of the world, but it'll focus back in. And I've been able to update with that. This is the 2021 Ocean Cup coming to you live from Huntington Beach, California. Martin Sandborg, Eric Norskog, and Tom Stewart from MTI bringing you this event live.
All right, and the Bat boat has popped back up on our screen. And I see a Pisa on our screen. I do not see Lucas on our screen, so they're still locked.
So Pisa running right at about 70, and the Bat boat running at just about 50 miles an hour. Of course, last year in 2020, there were only two boats that did this. It was Lucas Oil and the Bat boat with Chris Rendell. And while Lucas Oil did an amazing time, we're super fast. It was just cool to the fact that the Bat boat finished it because this is a long ride. It's a 24-foot boat. Martin, you've been in one. I've been in one. They did it in 1 hour and 57 minutes and 40 seconds in the under 30-foot class. That's a small boat to do this run in.
Well, first of all, I haven't been in one of them. I said, nah, no, thank you.
Really?
I do know. Yeah. No, I started in a 24-foot boat in offshore and quickly realized that size does make a huge difference. So I really enjoy running 42s when I'm offshore.
Well, maybe that's why MTI built that bigger center console, right, Tom?
That's right. Yeah, we did. We started doing it. We were doing a 57 for the longest time, and then we decided to hit right in the middle and do the 50. And it's been a very, very popular seller with us. We've had a lot of our customers switch out from the 42s and go to the 50. And even on that boat, if you can put 5 engines on it and run mid 80s, but it has a big cabin. If you had to stay overnight, you could. It has an enclosed head, which the women like. And you know, it's just a really, really nice boat. And obviously it's going to handle the rough water a little bit better.
Yeah.
So Eric, did you ever think you would see a center console do this run in all the years you've done it with your grandfather?
Well, I figured it's about time actually to bring the center consoles out here, and why not? More boats, the better. More people getting involved in the sport, the better. So I'm happy to have them.
And what was the record set by your grandfather, Eric?
The actual record? You mean around Catalina?
Yes. What was his time and speed?
Well, let's see. I've got a few of the times and speeds here. Sitting here. Not sure exactly if it was the actual course. See, the original run, they've had two different courses. There was one that went out to Catalina and back, and the other run course actually hugged the California coastline and went all the way up to Malibu and made a turn around Malibu Beach and came back. So, but I'm showing here 1 hour and 16 minutes back in 1979. Looks to me the best time that I'm looking at here on this sheet. And that was in the my grandfather's Skyhawks boat, which was the 38 Scarab, I believe.
Well, it's probably hard to keep up with all of your grandfather's boats because everybody knows there was a lot of them. There was the Fountain, there was the Scarab, there was a Cigarette. There was quite a history of boats. And you were telling me last year that you actually still have some of the boats, right?
We have a couple. We don't have any offshore left. We still have his old 1943 Mandela. There's only a couple of them around, and we have the 23-foot ET boat, tunnel boat, all wooden marathon hull tunnel boat that we still have in the family. But all the offshore boats, everything else is gone.
Still a lot of history there with Bob Nordskog and obviously with Powerboat Magazine. And tell everybody what he used to do, because I thought that was pretty fascinating, what his primary job was.
Well, the primary business at Nordskog Industries was building aircraft galleys and support equipment for the airplanes. Started back in 1951. My grandfather actually worked for Howard Hughes for many years. He was involved, helped build the Spruce Goose airplane, and was involved with Lockheed and all that, and ended up building the first galleys for TWA back in the early days. And all the galleys at that time were all made out of sheet metal. Everything now is all bonded and composite material now. It's very lightweight, but yeah, he's got quite a history. So we had the Nordskog Industries, and which included Nordskog Electric Vehicles, Powerboat Magazine. We also had the Competition Center where we manufactured instrumentation, gauges for boats, and all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, he had quite a setup going.
Yeah, getting a lot of questions on the comments right now, Martin. I don't know if you could see them, but if we could try and get Eric to speak up or a little bit closer into the mic. Everybody's saying just a little bit of trouble hearing him. We want to be able to hear this super cool information that comes out about his grandfather, because anybody that's in the industry definitely knows who Bob Nordskog is.
I'll try to pull the mic closer when I'm talking. How's that?
That sounds a little bit better.
All right, the MTI is coming up on the halfway point around the back side of the island. They're coming up on the Echo turn mark, or Echo check mark. 75, 76 miles an hour is their typical speeds there. We still don't have anything from Lucas Oil. We don't have their speed. They've got to be, I got to believe they're coming up on catching that because they're running so much faster.
Yeah,
They've got to be up beyond patriotic duty, I would think.
absolutely.
You would think.
But we'll try and hit refresh and see what we've got.
I'm sure a few of them are already on the backside already by now, I would think, right, Martin?
They have to be.
Yeah.
I mean, they're running double the speed of everybody except MTI.
It's actually the fun part of running around Catalina is the backside.
What makes the backside so interesting?
It's just water's different over there, a nice different view that you never get to see. And it's just really beautiful island. They really have to be careful running around Catalina. There's a lot of people that go out there to hang out, and just camp and whatnot. And people go paddle boarding, and so they have to be really careful for paddle boarders and things around the island. A lot of scuba divers. There's beautiful scuba diving out there in Avalon. So we've got to make sure they're off the island a little bit here.
And the one thing about racing out here is the water is incredibly deep. So it really makes it turbulent. You're between two islands. There's another island on the outside of Catalina. We've got the Lucas Oil boat has now just popped back up on the screen. I'm showing 102 miles an hour on the back side of the island, and they are coming up on MTI. So they're coming up on checkpoint Echo. MTI has just passed checkpoint Echo. And we should see MTI get by them here pretty quickly at about halfway point across the backside of the island. Then they'll circle around to the south, pass Avalon on their port, make their way back up to Shiprock, make a right-hand turn, head back to the Huntington Beach Pier.
And I apologize about the noise. I just went back up into my office. There we go. Things look a little bit better there.
Just pursued some of you making comments online about that you can't hear us. We had some technical difficulties earlier trying to work all that out. So we're hoping you can hear us better now.
Right now, Lucas Oil running about 110 miles an hour. And I'm sure they've got the MTI in their sights right now as they're heading up on them.
And Martin, that's barely even cruising that boat. That boat's barely even working at 100.
That's right. That boat's 170 mile an hour boat. So they should pretty handily beat a record at the speeds they're running right now.
Well, and these conditions would favor this boat a lot more than the V bottom. If it's as flat as you guys say it is, a cat's definitely going to run a little bit better than the V it would in these conditions.
Oh, I would agree with that too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and when they get in calm conditions, this boat's going to be just a rocket ship. Catamarans are like a flying carpet, and for people that don't know, the thing that makes a catamaran fast is that they really, let's put it this way: all motorsports are horsepower to weight ratio. And this boat is a heavy boat, but when it's running, the tunnel creates lift, which offsets the feeling of weight. So you still have two 1,300 horsepower motors, but instead of pushing a 15,000 pound boat when they're moving, it thinks it's pushing an 8,000 pound boat. So they're so much faster because they think they're lighter.
So, Tom, do you understand all of the catamaran lingo and technology there? I mean, have you learned all that from Randy and building the boats out there?
Yeah, I've learned a lot of it. And I do understand it. And every day you go into work, you learn a little bit more. I think Randy's probably forgot more than most people will ever know. But yeah, he's absolutely right about that. The catamarans, you got all that air going in, and it's lifting the weight of the boat up. And then also, I think with the cats too, in the rougher water, you can run a little bit better because you have the wave that's coming up into the tunnel. It almost acts as a shock absorber in there. So that does help out a little bit. But yeah, they can definitely get their speeds out because obviously they're putting the big horsepower motors in there, and you don't have much drag.
When Art Lilly and I were running on the factory team in V-bottoms, when he made the transition to switch over to cats, he said, "Now, Martin, you got to get into catamaran. It's like a magic carpet. You get in there, you don't get the tar beat out of you anymore. It's just you just float over the tops, and catamaran, you've kind of let it go. You kind of point it, but if you overdrive it, you slow it down. So you just kind of let yourself drift, and the boat just carries. It's just a totally different feeling. Some guys don't make the transition well from V-bottoms to catamarans either. So you've got to be comfortable with it. And, this is where experience is going to build up for Nigel as they're running his boat, because Nigel's been a long-time V-bottom driver. So this is a change of sensation for him.
Well, it's also a bit of a change, Martin, because of the 1350 twin turbo engines. Talking to Steve Curtis, who ran the Miscaico boat, these engines are a lot different to throttle than a normal turbocharged motor or blower motor, or even a naturally aspirated motor, because of how differently the power band is between the different engines.
Well, they're strong in the top end. Once they run like a typical turbo motor, there's very few guys that have driven turbines, but it's the same way there. Until it starts making power, it's a totally different feel. Once you're up there in the RPM range, you've got great crisp throttle response. Because of the way Mercury manages the boost, it holds onto the boost. When you pull the throttles back, when you're throttling the boat, you can hear the wastegate popping, blowing off the excess air. And right now it looks like Lucas has come right alongside MTI as they're coming around the bulge on the south end of the island, getting ready to make maybe a third of the way around to get to Avalon.
What an incredible run for the MTI boat, though. Are they about the halfway point now, would you say, Martin?
I'd say they're pretty close to halfway. They may have just passed the halfway point. Now, I just lost Lucas. In fact, just lost both of them. So when they get a little farther south, because we're still showing the Avalon checkpoint boat, we're still showing readings.
Yep, we still got readings from there.
And we lost all of the other boats up on the other side there. So I see Patriotic stalled. So they should probably pick up here when they get around to the south side of the island.
Somebody had a question about the helicopters up there. It's too overcast for the helicopter. Does anybody know the helicopter's up?
I mean, looking at the cam on the live stream here, it looks like it's a crystal clear sunny day. So I don't think it would be an issue of visibility. I think last year we did have some footage from the helicopter. I'm not sure what happened to it this year. Martin, if you look at the Bat boat, which is one of the boats that we're able to keep up with now, their speed has picked up significantly. Just now running past Indian Rock, they're up running 70, low 70s comfortably. When they were running out to Shiprock, they were only running in the low 60s. So they've picked up 10 miles an hour as they've made this turn.
Yeah, they also may be getting a little more comfortable in the boat right now. Of course, it's got Chris Rendell on the boat, so Chris knows how to run that boat. He builds them. He's the master of the Bat boat. We'll see. They also could have had a change in water conditions right there also.
I don't think Chris is in the boat today. I think I talked to him last night. He said he's not going to be running. There are 2 other people are running the boat.
Oh,
today.
okay. I didn't realize that. When I saw Chris yesterday, I just presumed he was going to be in the boat.
Yeah, he's just here making sure everything goes well for them. But yeah, he told me he's not driving today.
All right, Patriotic Duty just popped up back up on our screen now also. They're a third of the way on the back side of the island, running about 67, 68 miles an hour.
There's one thing they need to be careful of out here in the channel. We have probably 60-something freighters sitting off the coast of California ready to go into the port of LA, and they're just sitting there waiting, and they're all over the place right off the coast. So our boat's coming down. They just gotta like zigzag through the freighters. But I'm looking actually at a live stream here of the actual surf, and to me it looks like the swells are picking up a little bit, so it looks like a south swell coming in, maybe a 4 to 5 foot south swell, so it should be a nice run coming back.
And Martin, I think you were right. I think the Bat boat did definitely find some better water around Indian Rock because they've now slowed back down into the lower 60s. So I think you were right between Shiprock and that point there off of Indian Rock. Looked like there was some good water there, but now they've slowed tremendously. Now they're down in the mid 50s. So I think they're getting a little bit rougher as they head toward the north part of the island.
It could very well be. Patriotic Duty slowed down a little bit too. They're running 65, 66 miles an hour. A little bit slower than they were coming out, but fairly consistent. Again, that's where those guys said they wanted to be. We're waiting for MTI and Lucas to pop back up on our screen. When they do, I'm sure we're going to see that Lucas is way out front of MTI now because they're running a good 35 miles an hour, 30 miles an hour faster anyway.
So, Tom, when Randy was in Baltimore and I was catching up with him, he told him he was saying that there were some center consoles that were going to come out with the new Mercury 600. Where do we stand on those projects?
We do have a couple that are building boats that have those on order. We don't have them done yet, but they'll be coming really soon. And we're excited to see what kind of performance we can get out of those and what type of difference it makes with the handling of the boat. I think the motors are built to push around the big, heavy boats. I don't know if ours don't really fall into that category, but I think, in the 50s and maybe even the 57s, it might be a good option for people. And, people who don't want to put 5 engines on a boat, they can go down to 4. So we're excited to do some testing with that and see how it goes.
Well, and they were built to push the bigger center consoles, the Scouts, the HCBs, a lot of those bigger, heavier center consoles. That's where Mercury was going with that. The Formula Sport Cruisers they have now, the open bow boats. That's where Mercury was really going with the 600.
Yeah, and I think it's a perfect motor for that. Where guys want to get out of the inboard boats and they want to be able. I know in our area we run them in the wintertime, and the outboards you don't have to winterize. You don't have to worry about freezing issues or anything like that. So I think it's going to be a good motor for that.
What are you doing? A time lapse?
Well, that's what they've done, and that's what the outboards have changed. Martin, you can attest to that because you're a big motor guy, and now the outboards have completely changed that environment.
My sister's running a live stream for the Ocean Cup, and I'm broadcasting for her.
Oh, that's called the Ocean Cup?
This whole race thing is, I guess, it's called the Ocean Cup. So,
Martin, can you still hear me? I've got a lot of background noise.
No. I don't know whose this is. It's been here ever since I got to this corner.
All right, now we see a Pisa on the screen. They've come back to live. They're running 65, so they're fairly consistent.
I'm watching it right here because we're live streaming. So they're around the island on the other side right now. So they're going to be coming around probably another 30 minutes or so. So it's an hour-long race from what I'm understanding.
I think somebody's trying to take over our broadcast.
It might be that. I think it's that camera. Maybe
Yeah,
somebody's
it's just
standing
4
next to the
today.
camera.
It's a very small race today. I only saw 4 take off.
Well, still got Patriotic Duty Martin still running in the mid 60s. Have not seen Lucas Oil or MTI pick back up yet.
No, I think what's going to happen is Patriotic Duty is going to get right to where they were in.
I couldn't tell you.
I lose their
literally
signal as
messaged
well.
just
So
like,
once
come
they get
down,
to the
help me
south end of the island and make the
broadcast.
turn towards
That's what I'm
Avalon,
doing.
we should pick them up again. Hopefully, we'll have them on the front side of the island in the channel before they make the turn at Shiprock. We'll have them. For a little bit there. Then we'll lose them. Before
I do
they get
production all the
to
time.
beach.
This is just something to help her out with.
Well, that's definitely one of our cameramen there.
What do you usually do?
I work in movie trailers.
What's the name?
Yep, and you're right. Martin Patriotic Duty has frozen right there, just southwest of Sentinel Rock.
Trailers are pretty good because
So we'll have to wait till they get caught up. I would imagine that MTI and Lucas Oil will be almost to Avalon at the speed they were traveling. At least Lucas Oil would be.
Yeah.
You throw one huge wave in it.
I'm not exactly sure where we're getting all these other voices from, but they're walking all over us.
I've lost them now. It sounds like we're just back to us. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, good deal. So we are waiting to find out where Lucas Oil and MTI are. Patriotic Duty, APBA, and the Bat Boat all still currently running. So every boat is out there and still moving on the course from everything that we can see. Again, there's some drops in the 4G connection, which causes us to lose some of our feed, some of our data that we're seeing on the boats. Martin, APBA is an interesting boat. That's a boat that was built to do something like this, right?
Yeah, it looks like that's what it was done. I don't know the total history on it. I mean, I know Larry Smith, but ultimately seeing this boat with the diesels and the Fabio Buzzi drives is really unique, especially on the West Coast. Even in the U.S., you just don't see very many boats with Buzzi drives on them.
And didn't Fountain race one of the Buzzi boats back at one point in time?
We built 4 of them.
Okay.
There's a interesting story behind them. One of them ended up in Baltimore. When we raced in Baltimore, the thing caught on fire. That boat ended up in Art Liddy's shop, and an Art Liddy's shop caught on fire and burned the boat down. So I think that was God saying, please, please don't run that boat anymore. We had them on some of the cruisers for a while. They ran really well with diesels. They just didn't really like gas. It's just too much RPM for that shaft drive, and it was just too hard on them.
Martin, let's bring up Lucas Oil, though. Now we've got them back right past Avalon, which is where you predicted they would come in, now running up in the mid to low 140s. So they've really picked it up. They've gotten comfortable with it. This is the performance we should expect to see out of this boat from here running back in.
Exactly. Now they're actually behind one of our graphics, but I can see them moving. They've gotten past the Avalon, so now they're heading north along the channel side of the island, coming back up to Shiprock to make that right-hand turn. But they're moving right now.
Yeah, running up into the 140. So, again, getting pretty comfortable with it. We haven't seen the MTI pop back up, but if they're running the 140s, they're definitely going to be way ahead of the MTI. We've lost Patriotic Duty. I think we're about to lose APBA also to that dead spot around the southwest part of the island here up towards when we get back up towards Avalon.
So they've definitely got some calm water on that side of the island. So they're definitely taking advantage of it. They're 142 miles an hour right now, 143. So they're moving. And having run the V-bottoms for a long time, you can get a V-bottom up to 142 miles an hour, but you're not going to do it for, an hour. So these guys, now that you can get a catamaran at this speed, the boat's just not working. I mean, in terms of not working, I mean, it's not struggling. It just cruises at these kind of speeds.
Martin, you talked about how deep this water is here. If you're watching live on the telemetry information, Lucas Oil just went from 150s down into the 90s, just about 100. Is that going to be a conditions change right there around that point as well?
Well, they're coming around a point, So it could be bumpy right there, but they definitely slowed it down because they were moving it, coming up on 150, and now they're running 96, 97 miles an hour.
Tom, you haven't gotten any reports from your MTI team out there, have you?
I have not. I just got done checking my phone to see what was going on, and I haven't had any good news or bad news yet. So I think everything's probably okay. I'm sure they just have to get their service when they come around the island.
Well, as they say in the world, no news is good news.
That's right.
Well, the MTI team is Austin Carver and Mike Carver.
And they built that boat new, right, Tom?
They did build it new, yes. Yeah, they had a used boat from us before, and then while they were running a used boat, we built them a new one, so they could get through the wait time. And we see the boat all over the place. They take it to Lake Havasu. We see it at Lake of the Ozarks, and then I believe he's leaving here and going to Miami with it for the winter. So
okay.
Yeah, it'll be everywhere.
That's a long haul. Going to go down there and do the Miami to Key West poker run, you think?
Yeah, Miami Key West poker run. I know he's going to, and then also we have a couple runs for our MTI customers throughout the winter season. We take care of most of them at Haulover Marina. We rent part of that out and do a white glove service for everybody, so they don't have to worry about taking care of their boats, and they get to use them for a couple more months throughout the season. So we'll have Key West poker run. We have a little New Year's run, and then we have a March fun run that we're going to do.
Well, that's awesome. MTI does a lot to take care of its customers. That's actually what Taylor does, right? She's the customer relations manager is one of her titles, correct?
Yep. She handles, she does sales and handles the events, and now she does racing. But yeah, she handles quite a bit of that. And that's one thing that we've always tried to do, even getting bigger and getting busier. We still try to retain that customer service that's what originally built the company. And, we know all of our customers personally. And we end up making friends with them, and really they're part of our family. And it sounds cliche, but everybody always says when you get an MTI, you end up in the MTI family, and it's true.
Well, Cole doesn't have an MTI, and he's in the MTI family, so
Yeah, he hangs out, so I guess that's right. Close enough.
If he's listening, I'm sure he's going to text me here shortly and say, "Stop making fun of me." But
he's a great guy. We love Cole.
Yeah, no, for sure. So now we've lost Lucas Oil, we've lost Patriotic Duty. The only boat that we have live data on, I believe, is still the Bat Boat, right?
Yep, the Bat Boat's the last one, and they're coming up on the halfway point. They're just now going by Checkpoint Echo, and then they'll be at that drop-off point at the southwest corner of the island.
So, Tom, while we're in this, tell us what's coming up exciting for MTI Key West, the Miami to Key West poker run. Got a couple more races. What do we got coming up for MTI?
Yeah, the next big thing we have coming up, obviously Taylor's going to be racing. I believe it's next weekend at Fort Myers.
Yep.
And then we have the Fort Lauderdale Boat Show, and then we'll be doing the Key West poker run, and then Taylor's going to be racing in the Worlds down there. So that's really what's coming up quickly. And then obviously we said we had the New Year's fun run. We have the new 390X closed canopy that's going to be coming out. And that's going to be for some of the guys who may want to do some racing with the boats. So they'll have the canopy and everything that they need, and we're going to provide a little support for our customers. And so if we get some guys that want to go racing and don't necessarily have a crew, or don't have anybody to help take care of the boat, we bring a big support trailer that has parts and a crew and everybody that knows everything about the boat, so they can come in, and we're hoping that helps build that 450 class.
Well, that'll be Milton's job to lead that up, right? He'll be the one heading that up, I'm sure.
Yeah, Milton's our crew chief for the race stuff, and he does a great job, man. He just that's really what Milton was born to do, and you never see him getting tired, and he's always running around. He's a hard guy to keep up with, but he does a great job, and he knows a lot about the boats.
Well, and Martin, you probably work with Milton quite closely down there at Haulover, right?
Yeah, I do. I'm down at Haulover as well. I do all the sales at Extreme, so work with those guys quite a bit, and of course I've had a lot of involvement with the MTI customers on the service side as well. And nice thing is they build a great boat, and they're a great group to work with. I've known Randy for a long time when he was tied up with the Fountain team. Eric has this file of stuff here that is phenomenal. These old black and white pictures, the number 33 Nordskog Marine boat. Which boat is that, Eric?
This is the old Thunderbird, 27-foot Thunderbird. It's called the Holocaust. My grandfather actually won the race in 1968 in an hour and 53 minutes in the Holocaust boat.
just amazing history. I love that. I had a chance to know your dad because he was also close with Reggie and all those days, and then of course with the magazine as well. So that was my background with him. But just looking at that file of stuff you've got is just impressive. A treasure trove of info.
And Martin, did you get to see the trophy? Because I know it's around there somewhere.
I have seen the trophy. All right, we've got Lucas Oil back. They're running 119 miles an hour. They have, looks like they're coming up on the turn. No, they've already made the turn. They're heading back.
123 right now.
And we've got the MTI back up. They're running in the mid to low 80s, so they have passed the Avalon pontoon.
Yep.
Now getting ready to come up to...
Yeah, Lucas Oil is smoking there. 116, 117.
And again, barely even working for that boat at that speed.
I'm curious where they are on overall time. We're not seeing time. I wonder what that looks like in terms of a record.
Well, I want to say
110 miles
that...
an hour? So the MTI, we'll lose the MTI when they get about halfway on the east side of the island.
So last year, Martin, in the Silverhook boat, their average speed was 84.94 miles an hour with a top speed of 129.23. So obviously, I think their average speed is going to be considerably higher, probably up towards right around 100, I would think.
I would certainly think so. I haven't seen less than 100 really at all, except when they were making the turn.
And they did it again in an hour and 19 minutes.
Like
so
yeah, it looks like we've dropped them. So they're, as they pull away from the island, we'll pick them up probably about 2/3 of the way back across the channel.
yeah, we're starting to learn where we're picking these boats up and losing them. So, Tom, this is your first ever time in California. What do you think so far?
I think it's awesome. You know, I just didn't know what to expect. You know, of course, in the Midwest, we think everybody on the West Coast is that California is all the same town. But yeah, it's beautiful out here, and everybody's really nice.
All right,
I was looking at
information on. Oh, sorry, I got the information on the record right now. The current record is 1 hour and 18 minutes and 9 seconds by Nigel in the Silverhook boat. They left at about 7:27, and right now I'm showing 8:15. So they're still well under an hour, and they're on the last leg.
And by the next time we see them pop up, they will be actually by our Bravo boat, which is one of our course marker boats. They'll be very close to shore then. So I think they're going to be. I think they're going to be pretty close to beating their record, if not going to beat it for sure.
Yeah, and if the water is nice, they're going to be able to open it up.
30 miles.
Just got to note they've got about 30 miles to go.
We'll definitely beat that time then.
Yeah, they should beat that time.
I think the most impressive time of the day is good. I'm sorry?
It's conceivable they could get to under an hour.
Depending
on what he can do speed-wise.
Yeah, you're right. If he can, if it's running, you guys said it would probably be a smoother run back in from the island towards the mainland. They could definitely pick up the speeds. I saw 140 of them, 140 right around the Avalon course marker boat. So they definitely have it in it.
Absolutely, they have the potential.
But the one cool thing is, or one of the cool things, many cool things, is you're watching the 2021 Ocean Cup live from Huntington Beach, California. Martin Sanborn, Eric Nordscott, Tom Stewart, and Mike Uoski bringing it to you live. Tom, we've talked about MTI a lot. MTI supported the event, got the boat out here, brought you out here. This MTI center console is doing really well.
Yeah, it's not running too bad. You know, I think that they were looking for having maybe a 70-mile-an-hour run. But most of the speeds I've been seeing have been up close to 80. So I think they're going to be very happy when they get back.
Are they drinking margaritas yet, you think? Virgin margaritas, of course, no alcohol involved.
Yeah, you never know about those guys.
Here's a question for you, Tom. On our online chat here, somebody is asking, will MTI be in Inglewood?
To be honest with you, I'm not sure about that. I don't know what the date is on Inglewood. Do you guys know?
It's post Key West. It's the 18th of November. I have not heard if they are going yet or not.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I know for sure we're going to do Key West, but knowing Taylor, I'm sure she's going to try to jump in on the Inglewood thing.
Yeah, it's the weekend. It's the weekend directly after Key West.
Gotcha.
All right, the MTI has dropped off. They're now in hopefully one of the last dead zone while they're along the island. We'll pick them up before they make the turn at Ship Rock. Now we're looking to see what is going to happen as we get to Lucas Oil, where they are in terms of that speed record. So they're probably about halfway across the channel right now.
Martin, we've got Patriotic Duty come back up as they pass Avalon. Now they're running up into the mid 70s, so they've picked up a little bit of speed on this eastern side of the island here.
Yeah, they've definitely picked up some speed. That boat has the capability to really rock and roll. You know, and maybe now as they're getting a little more seat time in this particular event, they're going to go ahead and open it up a little bit more. But like we said, they're really kind of playing cautious because they don't want to hurt the motors. They want to get back. They want to complete the event, and then this boat is going to be a beast when they put the new motors in.
You said the 1350 is going in it, right?
Correct. 1350s with M8 drives.
Well, it will definitely be a rocket ship when that comes out.
Diesel motor right now? It says diesel.
No, right now that boat's got 572 big supercharged motors, making about 1,000 horsepower apiece. Nope, that one is that's a Pisa.
Oh, we're looking at
so here it is right here.
Patriotic Duty.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. So the Pisa diesel.
So we're just waiting for Lucas Oil to pop up on. That is going to be the story to see where they come up. Our current record is 1 hour and 18 minutes and 9 seconds. They left it right about 9:27 is what I got an approximation. And right now it is 8:19, so they're still under an hour. Don't know that they're going to make that hour mark looking at the time, but they should easily meet 1 hour and 18 minutes.
Well, and to me, that boat would have a lot. That boat would have a lot left in it. I definitely think they could get within under the hour. Would you agree?
You would think, and of course the boat's getting faster too because it's burning off fuel. So we're just waiting for them to pop up. They've got to be coming up on Bravo pretty quickly here.
I don't know, Tom. I think it'd be pretty cool to see the 450 boat out here.
Yeah. Yeah.
How fast is that boat?
Most of the 450 39s will be, over 120, a little bit over 120. So the race boat's going to be right around there.
And that race boat's a little bit lighter than the pleasure boat. No, that race boat's heavier than the pleasure boat.
Yeah, the class actually requires it to be heavier. I believe, don't quote me on it, but I believe it's like 6,400 pounds it's supposed to be. And our pleasure boats were running right around 5,800 pounds.
Fascinating. Well, I think it'd be fun to see that boat out here for sure. Maybe we can talk Taylor into it over the off season, although I'm sure she has a lot going on and a lot planned.
She's got
already working on your 2022 schedule.
Yeah, she has her plate full for sure, and you might have a chance if you do the Miami to Key West run because we do that a lot out there. So once the Cup comes over there, I think that'll be. I think you're gonna have a big showing if you do it over on the East Coast.
And I know that's definitely in the plans for the 2022 Ocean Cup Series. And still waiting for Lucas Oil to pop up. I think we still got Patriotic Duty running, so they're still running in the mid 70s. Haven't picked up MTI yet, which surprises me because they should be.
A couple of boats, the Bat boat on the backside that hasn't popped back up on the screen yet, and a Pisa are still in the dead zone. Patriotic Duties, we're showing them a little bit, carrying the signal a little bit farther than MTI, but the big story is waiting to see when Lucas Oil pops up, see where they are, what their speeds are, and we'll be able to kind of judge where they're going to end up. Again, all the boats left individually, so it's just basically they're racing the clock. They're not racing each other. Each class is individual. We've got none of the boats are running in the same class. So ultimately, when they left, when they get back, that's going to determine where they sit in terms of a record.
So what are the different classes?
Well, the way they've got them broken out right here, I'm looking at the sheet. I'm not sure how they defined them. I think the only one is a specific class under 30 feet for the Bat boat. of course, the center console class, the Lucas Oil boat could almost run as a Class 1 or an open class boat. I don't see on our list here. I don't see a class name.
Yeah, they didn't. It doesn't look like they broke it down into classes at all.
Yeah, I just see boat types. I don't see a class. All right, here we go. I got the classes. All right, so it looks like just by length, under 30, 30 to 35, 35 to 40, 40 to 45, and over 45.
And we have APBA has come back now live up on the screen. So they're running again in the mid 60s, the 48-foot Larry Smith built Scarab hull powered by the diesel engines. So they are still running it. This boat was supposed to run last year, but suffered a mechanical issue at the last minute. So they were unable to make it. Glad they're out there to see it running this year. Just got a question over here in the chat. Jason Johnson, of course, from Speed on the Water magazine, wants to know where they can watch the live feed from. I know it's on YouTube. Under Nigel Hook, if we could post a link there, or say the link. I'm not sure what the live stream link is, Martin.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand what you said, Mike.
The live stream link for the tracking.
The live stream link, I've got that right here. It is at www.oceancup.com and click the tracking button. www.oceancup.com and then push the tracking button. All right, now the MTI is back up there. We're showing them still running 81 miles an hour. And
yep, there they are. They've made
determined they're heading back.
PISA at 67 miles an hour.
Martin, do you think the MTI time could be around Nigel's time last year? It's going to be pretty close to that, I would think.
I would think so. I mean, I haven't seen much less than 80 miles an hour from them since they left. At the very beginning, on the way out, they were running in the mid to upper 70s, and it seems like every other time we've seen them since then, they've been at 80 or above.
Yeah, so I think they're going to be really close to what Nigel and Jay did last year in the V-bottom boat. So that'll be an even cooler thing to think about. To think about that center console going out to it the first time and was able to run close to what a race boat V-bottom ran last year.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Well, definitely be some celebrating going on for those guys tonight. So we have APBA still running up in the mid 60s. We've lost Patriotic Duty in that one dead zone, so we will not see them until they go around Shiprock. APBA's heading up that way. So right now we're waiting to see the Bat boat come out.
All right, now we just received word that Lucas Oil has passed the Bravo checkpoint. They haven't popped up on our screen yet, and that was at 8:25. They passed the checkpoint, and they left at 7:27. So they're right at an hour, and they're probably only 5 minutes away from the end.
On my feed, I've lost watching it on the Yachtbot tracker system. I have lost the Bravo boat, so I can't reference it there, but it looks like it's still on the live stream.
No, do not.
See, MTI's dropped off, Patriotic Duty's dropped off, APBA we still have, and we haven't seen the Bat boat pop back up into the signal yet.
So the next time we see Patriotic Duty, they should have made the turn, and APBA will drop off here shortly. But as Martin said, the story is going to be Lucas Oil and seeing how fast they can get to shore. Do we have a speed on them at all, Martin?
No, I don't. Don't have a speed yet. They haven't popped back up, but they should probably pop back up pretty quickly. They're going to jump. Their logo or their image is going to pop all the way across the channel because they have already passed the Bravo checkpoint.
Beautiful day for the 2021 Ocean Cup happening to you from Huntington Beach, California. Mike Yawoski, Martin Sanborn, Eric Nordskog, and Tom Stewart from MTI bringing you this live broadcast today. Of course, Tom has a boat out there, the MTI center console running about the mid 80s. We've lost them in our view. Lucas Oil way out in front, they run really between 100 and 140 miles an hour. Patriotic Duty is run between 65 and 80. Patriotic Duty just popped back up. They're running still in the mid 70s. APBA is still in the mid 70s. So the last one we're waiting for now is going to be the Bat boat.
I'm looking at the water live, and it's absolutely flat right now. There's like no wind and very minimal surf, so they should be just flying.
Is that normal conditions?
I'd expect them to be in that 140 range right now.
Now, are those normal conditions out there for that for it to be this flat?
No, not really. Last weekend they had the U.S. Open of surfing out here, and there was some waves, and so no, they just got lucky. It's a beautiful day. And last week we had overcast out here, and so it's just a perfect day for a boat race.
All right, we heard that Lucas has crossed the finish line. We don't see anything on there. Actually, I see them. They're over there now. There they go. They just crossed the or they just crossed the pier.
Just crossed the pier.
So they are really close to an hour.
Yeah, I believe they're going to be right on that hour mark or very close to it.
You just saw the Lucas boat pass by the Huntington Pier.
All right, so the Lucas Oil boat is officially done then, correct?
Correct.
All right, so Lucas Oil is done. Next boat done should be the MTI, and for some unknown reason, we've pretty much lost all signal going from Catalina back to Huntington Beach. So the next time we'll see these boats pop up live would be right around the Alpha Checkpoint boat and then the Huntington Beach Pier. Lucas Oil down off a plane. Might be able to see them from one of the live cams, maybe.
Yep, so we're just waiting to see where MTI is. I bet you MTI is coming up pretty close to Bravo Checkpoint as well.
Again, they were running in the mid 80s or the low 80s pretty much all day. Have not seen the Bat boat pop back up yet. We have lost a Pisa, which we expected to as they went around that one point of land on the eastern side of the island.
Patriotic Duty's ramped it up. They're running over 70 miles an hour right now as they're coming up on the turn.
Martin, what outer limits was that? Do you know?
I don't. It's a 2004 47. I don't know what it was before. I was actually working with another customer that was talking about these guys building this boat. And I spent some time talking to them yesterday in the pits where they were talking about what their plans are. And where they were also saying that these motors are a little tired and they're just trying to baby them, get it through this particular event and then get it ready for the next ones.
Well, 2004, that's one of the earlier outer limits, especially with that particular boat. That's very similar to what Mike Fiore built Triple X was. I think the same was also a 44, I think.
Oh, this was a 47, and it's
47. I'm sorry.
It's only a twin step, which which actually in my mind makes it a little more stable. The multi-step ones, they're fast in a straight line. Not really a fan of how they turn, but ultimately fast boat. And when they get those new motors in to get this thing dialed in, they've got a great piece of equipment.
So waiting for the MTI to pop back up on our screens. 11:30 here East Coast time if you're watching live, which means it's 8:30 out on the West Coast.
Correct. It's been an early morning here.
Martin, is your wife from Huntington Beach also?
I'm sorry?
Is your wife from Huntington Beach also?
No, she's from Alabama.
Alabama, okay.
Yep. Bay Minette.
Of course, also done some racing in Orange Beach, Alabama.
$60 minutes and 10 seconds was the number I just heard for Lucas. So they just missed the 1 hour mark. That'll be their target next year, I'll bet.
Well, that should be an easy, to me, that would be an easy 10 seconds to get past. I think maybe if they had known that out there today, they may have pushed it a little bit harder, wouldn't you think?
Something really cool here. Tomorrow, if you'd like to view the boat, all the boats, they'll be on display down at Main Street here in Huntington Beach. So if anybody can come on down, get down here, if you can get down here with all the crowds. But all boats will be on display. You can come check them out, meet the drivers or whatever, and come hang out, Huntington Beach.
All right, we've got the average speed for Lucas Oil right now, unofficially 112.9, 112.9 miles an hour is their average speed.
That was just a little bit slower than their top speed last year, which was right around 129. So impressive run for that. Definitely know that boat had more in it. As Eric was talking about all the events happening out there in Huntington Beach, go to oceancup.com for more information and a schedule of events and see how things are going to go. Of course, this is part of the air show taking part there out in Huntington Beach, the Pacific Air Show, which will happen tomorrow and Sunday.
Yep,
As we still have
going to be a great air show. We've got a combination of a lot of great airplanes, and it's not often that you see the Blue Angels and the Thunderbirds at the same venue. So we've got to enjoy watching them practice all week.
So we have the Bat Boat back up on the screen. It looks like they froze again, but they're running back up into the 80s on the eastern side of the island, coming around that point there that then gets them up to Twin Rocks. We still have lost APBA. So we have accounted for every boat out there within the past 10 or 15 minutes, let's say. Lucas Oil has finished. MTI still off of the screen, but we have lost pretty much all communication, or not communication, but all telemetry between Catalina and back to shore, although Patriotic Duty, for some unknown reason, still able to give us some information. APBA, I would think, should be making the turnaround Shiprock anytime now. As last time we saw them, they were going just by Twin Rocks. Tom, are you going to get to enjoy the air show out in California this year?
Yeah, I hope so. We're gonna be posted up on Main Street, so I heard that's a pretty good place to watch it. So I'll be sitting up in the boat under the shade and watching the show.
Can't beat that. That'll be a nice day for you there. All right, APBA, Martin. APBA is just now coming up to Shiprock, again running in the mid 60s, 67, 68 miles an hour. And judging by the speed, you can definitely tell it's flat water because nobody's really either sped up or slowed down significantly to the point where you think they've hit really treacherous conditions that may have changed.
Well, it's hard to say what the conditions are out there because we obviously can't see. On the shore here, it looks pretty good. We were just informed that the MTI has passed checkpoint Charlie. They still haven't popped up on our screen yet, so we don't know how fast they're going to see where they're going to show up in their overall time.
But checkpoint Charlie is right there by Alpha. That's one of the closer closer checkpoints rather to shore. So they should be pretty close to wrapping up, judging by how they were running in distances.
Well, we've got checkpoint Bravo is one of the ones that we do see on our screen, and then checkpoint Alpha is the final where they go through the slot at the start finish, where they'll be timed. So we're just waiting for them to pop up. All right, and APBA right now is rounding checkpoint Delta. That is at Shiprock.
So the only boat that hasn't rounded Shiprock yet is going to be the Bat Boat. Everybody else has made that turn, except for the Bat Boat, but the Bat Boat was still up and running.
Bat Boat's driver is Finley Gillespie.
So Lucas Oil is done. Patriotic Duty now on the straight. APBA made the turn around Shiprock and still waiting for Bat Boat, which did get past Avalon.
Looks like everybody's on their return trip now. They're all on the other side of the island heading home.
So, Martin, are you still in touch with Jeff at the Fountain Factory quite a bit?
Yeah, regularly. I'll be back there on Wednesday, actually. Yep, working with all the guys over there pretty closely, and the guys out at Big Thunder Marine as well.
How's old Reggie doing? Haven't seen him in a long time.
He's doing well. Saw him, I guess the last time I saw him was probably February. I was out there for my daughter's wedding. So he's doing well. No, I'm sorry. I was actually in April. I was out there for the rollout of the brand new 42.
Give him my best if you see him.
I will.
Congratulations on your daughter getting married, too. That's a big step.
Thank you. And Kyle just had a baby 2 weeks ago. So first-time grandfather. Yay.
Okay. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
A lot of things going on in your life over there, buddy.
Yeah, there are. All right, we're waiting for the MTI to pop up so we can see where they are. They've got to be coming up on checkpoint Bravo.
Not sure if anybody online can see my cool jacket I'm wearing, but I've got the Eric Nordskog version of the Bob Nordskog patch jacket. Everybody can see I got some really cool patches back from the 60s, 70s, really cool.
Still no MTI yet, but I agree with Martin. They're probably just now passing the Bravo checkpoint or somewhere close to that.
I would think so, because last time we saw they were running about 82 miles an hour, so I expect that they're maintaining that speed coming in. In fact, as you start seeing the shore coming up, they may very well be pushing the throttles just a little bit more, getting up to the top-end performance capabilities of that boat.
As Tom said, running up high 80s, maybe low 90s today.
I would hope to see that.
This is the 2021 Ocean Cup coming to you live from Huntington Beach, California. Mike Uoski, Martin Sanborn, Eric Nordskog, and Tom Stewart. Event put on by Janet Wilson, Nigel Hook, their entire team out there in California. Done a fantastic job pulling it off again. Last year we had 2 boats running in it. This year we have 5. So as we continue to see it grow, hope to see.
Just informed the bat boat still hasn't made it to checkpoint Charlie yet. And still waiting for the MTI to pop up. They should be the next boat we see coming across the start-finish line.
Ocean Cup presented by CarShare. CarShare is a peer-to-peer car sharing app that values safety and peace of mind above all else. We offer a platform with state-of-the-art technology for renting your cars. Go to carshare.com. Proud sponsor of the Ocean Cup 2021. So, Eric, if we do one of these over on the East Coast, maybe the Miami to Key West, you going to come out there and join us for one of those too?
Love to come out to that race, Miami to Key West. Absolutely. Anybody wants to invite me, I'm there.
Oh, we'll definitely invite you. But inviting is not the problem; it's getting you there.
Okay, you get me there. I'll be there. No, Key West is one of my favorite places.
I don't think there's anybody on this broadcast that wouldn't say Key West could be one of their favorite places. It's also a place that really takes it out of you after a week or two.
And depending on who you are, it doesn't take that long.
This is true. And as you get older, it doesn't take that long either. Of course, Tom knows that all too well.
Oh, yeah.
Schmoozing his MTI customers down there.
Yeah, you got to try to keep up with them. The West Coast guys are the crazier bunch.
So we've got Patriotic Duty Martin running back up with live data running in the 70s. They're coming up on checkpoint Bravo. And it looks like the bat boat has made the turn around Shiprock. So now all the boats are on the inward leg towards Huntington Beach. They've completed the lap around Catalina Island. Bat boat running now down into the low 60s, touching up towards 65.
Other stuff we've got going on for the rest of the day, we are going to have an award ceremony. It's going to be right at the Pier Plaza in Huntington Beach at 11:30, and they'll be recognizing the performance of all the teams. And we want to thank the folks at the Kempton Shorebreak Hotel, the resort here where we're bringing our live broadcast of the Ocean Cup event here in Huntington Beach. Great facility right on Pacific Coast Highway. Perfect place to sit and watch everything that you want to do. If you're looking for a place to get away in Huntington Beach, come on down. We show Patriotic Duty. We've got them coming across, but we still haven't picked up the signal from MTI that has got to be ahead of Pacific Duty.
I haven't heard anything from them, so I'm sure they're doing fine.
I remember we didn't see Lucas Oil pop up, Martin, until they passed checkpoint Alpha. So
1976 is the answer to the question online.
MTI just popped on 79.1 miles an hour, and they are coming up on checkpoint Alpha. And keep in mind they started after, or actually they're the first boat out, so they started right about 7:15. And we've got the bat boat now. They've passed checkpoint Charlie, or I'm sorry, Delta.
So the bat boat started at 7:15, Martin. They're about an hour and a half into it.
Correct.
Right?
Yep. But they're
So
running
maybe
right
a
at
little
78 miles an hour in the MTI.
So a little bit slower than what Nigel ran last year.
But it's going to set a pretty strong market, or pretty strong number for the center console class.
I agree wholeheartedly. Awesome to see this boat out there doing it.
Yeah, we're super happy to be out here.
Has Randy texted you yet to see how it's going?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got texts coming through from him, calls. He's live streaming and watching the tracker.
Outstanding. Well, Randy, we thank you for supporting the event. Having Tom out here joining us on our broadcast, always good to have an industry insider like himself, giving us good, fun feedback. Although it would be fun to see the 450 boat here in 2022. So pencil that in.
Yeah, maybe we'll bend our arm a little bit and try to get him out here.
If you can make it to the awards at 11:30, please come down. We have the Run Trophy on display too, which is really awesome to see. So please come down to the awards at the Pier Plaza, correct? At 11:30.
Correct. All right, we've heard that the fog is getting a little bad in the middle, so that might be what's slowing guys down just a little bit. Checkpoint Charlie has eyes on Patriotic Duty, and the bat boat is past Ship Rock. So all of them have circled the island. In fact, the rescue assets from the south side of the island are already headed back. $80 miles an hour right now for the MTI. And they should be coming right up to the finish right now.
Of course, we'd like to thank the Oppenheim Group for sponsoring the Ocean Cup 2021 events, a professional real estate brokerage serving buyers and sellers of luxury property in Los Angeles and Orange County, California. Go to ogroup.com for more information. Oppenheim Group sponsoring the 2021 Ocean Cup. Of course, I have to give a shout out to Lucas Oil Marine Products. Of course, Lucas Oil has been with Nigel and Jay for many, many years. One of the longer running sponsors in offshore powerboat racing. So thanks to Lucas Oil. Of course, the Pacific Air Show. If you're out there in Huntington Beach, California, you'll be able to see the Pacific Air Show happen live for the remainder of the weekend. And Robert Wren Zoin Vineyards.com.
All right, the MTI has crossed the start-finish line. They are now slowing down. We'll see if we can get an official time on them as well. They're the second ones.
Fantastic run for those guys to go out there and do it. And Martin, they had to be in full race gear, right? Lifelines, helmets, and all, correct?
I'm sorry, I still didn't understand what you said.
They had to be in full gear, right?
Correct. They have to wear full offshore vests.
It's like we want to thank Fletcher Jones Motor Cars here in Orange County for sponsoring the event.
So we've got Lucas Oil is done, MTI is done. So next up should be Patriotic Duty. APBA and the Bat Boat. are the remaining 3 boats on the course. 2021 Ocean Cup being brought to you live from Huntington Beach, California.
And it looks like everybody's going to complete the event within the time limits. We have a hard break at 10 o'clock. Everybody has to be off the water as they close the box for the air show.
Ocean Cup also sponsored by Satcom Direct. Go to satcomdirect.com for more information. Connectivity. SD's customized connectivity solutions provide, oh, my note went away there. Apologize. Networking systems that fit in aircraft and all kinds of other.
I do see the helicopter up, so I'm sure they're getting some really great running shots.
I'm sorry, Satcom Direct, providing world-class aviation technology since 1997. Satcomdirect.com for more information. And of course, we mentioned Lucas Oil. And E3 spark plugs. Go to e3sparkplugs.com. Also, E3 lithium batteries. They are a sponsor of the Lucas Oil J-Hook is what we're calling that one. The Lucas Oil E3 J-Hook entry. Tom, did you get a text from your MTI guys?
Yeah, they said they made it, and they're super happy with everything. They're glad that they they didn't have any mechanical issues, and the boat ran really well. So yeah, I'm sure we're gonna have a happy crew when they show back up.
Martin, did we get any sort of unofficial time on them?
Haven't yet, but I think they're working on it. Janet's getting ready to send me some mark. Oh, the APBA has just passed checkpoint Charlie, so we're waiting for a time on MTI, and they're working on getting that for us.
So APBA just passed checkpoint Charlie?
Yes.
So Patriotic Duty should be pretty close to finishing then too.
Yeah, last time we showed them, they're stuck halfway between the channel on our screen, so they should be past checkpoint Bravo by now.
So currently Patriotic Duty, APBA, and the Bat Boat still running here in the 2021 Ocean Cup, coming to you live from Huntington Beach, California.
Okay, so we got the performance specs on the MTI, 131 or 1 hour 31 minutes 5 seconds at 68.92 miles an hour average.
Tom, how do you feel about that one?
Yeah, I think that's good. I think that especially for the first year, there's not a whole lot of center consoles that are going to beat that. So I think we have a really good record, and now we just got to hold it.
Well, congratulations to those guys. As you said, they'll be happy to hear their results later today. Thank you to them for coming out, being the first center console to run.
That's Austin and Mike Carver driving the MTI.
Congratulations to those guys. Congratulations to Randy and the entire MTI crew. Again, thank you for supporting the event.
No problem. Thanks for having us, and hopefully it's a part of something bigger. So I think with the center consoles are out right now, you'll get a lot more participation, and we'll start seeing a lot more of it.
Well, again, Tom, thanks for your insight. Thanks for everything you've brought to it. It's been a pleasure broadcasting with you, and don't know when we'll cross paths again next, maybe somewhere down in Florida, but have a good trip home and enjoy yourself.
Okay. See you guys. Thanks.
Thanks, Tom.
See you, Tom.
All right, so we're wrapping up the 2021 Ocean Cup. Martin, what'd you say it was for the MTI?
1 hour 31 minutes and 5 seconds. The average speed was 68.92 miles an hour.
And Lucas Oil time was, Patriotic Duty just popped up on our screen.
Yep, I see him at 75 miles an hour. And again, thanks for Tom for joining us. MTI is factory supported, and Tom Stewart is the in-house support team and runs a lot of their sales operations there, so it was great to have him out here in California.
when he was excited because he said he'd never been to California before, so it was like a brand new trip to him.
I've been here
And what
since
was
Friday, so it's this is a weekend for me, and not going home on Sunday.
Then there you go, Martin. What was Lucas Oil's time and speed?
Lucas Oil was 112.9 miles an hour. They made it in 60 minutes and 10 seconds.
And we mentioned
the
it.
Bat boat back on screen. We've got Patriotic Duty is now coming up on checkpoint Alpha. They're doing 74 miles an hour. We haven't got a APBA back on the screen yet. We show Bat Boat ahead of them. Bat Boat's about halfway across the channel right now, running 61.5 miles an hour. 74 miles an hour for Patriotic Duty.
It's so interesting how this telemetry data comes across, how we see some boats differently than others. I guess it maybe depends on where they put their YachtBot units, but I thought they pretty much broadcast through anything.
And it was just informed that APBA is already past checkpoint Charlie. We just don't have telemetry on them yet. So we see Patriotic Duties coming up to checkpoint Alpha. 74 miles an hour.
Ocean Cup would like to thank Robert Renzoni Winery for help sponsoring the champagne for the Ocean Cup.
All right, Martin. So looking at Patriotic Duty, they're just going past checkpoint Alpha, so this should wrap up their run as well.
Correct. So they've got the right-hand turn coming up. They'll come across the pier, and that'll be the end of them.
Congratulations to that team in the Outer Limits boat, making the run here in Huntington Beach, California. And of course, they want to say thanks and shine a light on all the veterans, firemen, and police officers, our armed forces, Navy, Marines, Air Force, and Army. Without all of you, we wouldn't be able to come out here and do things like we get to do here on the weekends. Of course, the Patriotic Duty Racing for those who serve here in Huntington Beach, California. Look for this boat later on in the year. As Martin said, they're going to get repowered, put new drives on, and continue to do some record runs out on the West Coast. So next, it should be APBA, right, Martin? APBA should pop up next.
Yep, Patriotic Duties come by. And the 2021 Ocean Cup is brought to you by Satcom Direct and Cobham, Lucas Oil E-Lithium, the Dock in Huntington Beach, and Car Share.
I think I'm going to have to try and book a car off a Car Share. That might be kind of fun.
Patriotic Duty has finished. And the Bat Boat is approaching checkpoint Charlie. So they're just past the halfway point coming across. And we're still not seeing APBA.
Nope, but still have the Bat Boat.
Bat Boat's running 63 miles an hour.
There's a question here. Is the Lucas Oil boat heading back to Sunset Marina? Does anybody know?
Yes, it's on its way back to Sunset Marina. All the boats will be going back to Sunset Marina, and then they're coming over to Main Street. They'll be on display here on Main Street in Huntington Beach, right at the pier.
So we are waiting for still no APBA, right, Martin? I'm not seeing them.
I'm not seeing APBA, and Bat Boat just dropped off.
All right, so we're losing them in this gap, which is right around checkpoint Bravo. So maybe by the next time we see those guys pop up, we'll be probably towards checkpoint Alpha, and they will be wrapping up as well.
Correct. Yeah, we should be seeing the end of them. APBA is on the other screen. They're showing that APBA is coming across. All right, Bat Boat just jumped back on. Yeah, they dramatically slowed down. They're running 57 miles an hour.
Maybe getting a little bit. Will it get bumpier right there in that middle section?
Well, they also said that there's some fog in the middle of the course, so they could very well have hit some fog.
Okay.
You don't want to be blowing through fogs when there's 60 tankers or 60 cargo ships sitting out there. Okay, so APBA is 2/3 of the way across. We just don't have their signal. So they're coming up on checkpoint Bravo.
So APBA has dropped. So did APBA drop off behind the bat boat then?
No, they're ahead of the bat boat.
Okay.
According to what we show on there, but we haven't picked up their signal yet on tracking.
So APBA should be the next one to finish, and then the bat boat.
Patriotic
Any
Duty
data
will be the next
on
one to finish.
Patriotic Duty, Martin?
Patriotic Duty should have finished. Yeah, so they're already done. Next up is going to be APBA, and then we've got bat boat, and everybody's going to make it in before the 10 o'clock shutdown.
So just 2 boats.
Only 2 boats left.
Did you get any time or speed yet for Patriotic Duty?
Not yet. They're working on that for us right now.
All right. As we are in the final legs of the 2021 Ocean Cup, coming to you live from Huntington Beach, California, Mike Yawoski, Martin Sanborn, and Eric Nordskog joining you. Eric's got the patch jacket, which was now famous on the live stream here. People want to know, ask what year it was from.
1976. 1976.
That was a year before I was born. That shows you how old that jacket is. And does it live in a bag? Do you wrap it up in like a dry cleaning bag when you're not wearing it?
Actually, this is the first time I've worn this jacket in probably 30 years.
Does it still fit? Because I can't wear clothes from 30 years ago that still fit.
That's because you're not even 30 years old, Mike.
Really, Martin? Martin, I'm 43 years old. You know how long we say this every time we do this together? We say how long we've been doing this together. 30.
We've been doing
well,
it
let's see. Geico was sponsored for 14 years. So you figured I started with you probably 3 or 4 years before Geico. So we're at about the 18-year mark. Of course, I think our first event was in Algonac, wasn't it, together?
Could have been. It was doing an OPA event for sure.
It was in. I know it was in Michigan. I just don't remember what. I just don't remember which race it was, but it was definitely in Michigan. That used to be talkoffshore.com.
That's correct. Yeah, it was,
we only did it via voice. We didn't have any
Korn and
video.
I started that. It was a great thing we did for a while there.
Who started with you?
Do we have Andrew Korn?
Okay.
Yep. All right. Do we have a speed on Patriot yet? All right. They're still working on getting that for us.
And we still don't have bat boat or APBA on the screen. So APBA, I would imagine, would be coming up on checkpoint Alpha.
And APBA is past Bravo. And still don't have them on our screen. So let's see if I can.
Martin, there weren't a lot of 48-foot Scarabs built, were there?
Well, with the bustle on it, it looks like it's at least that long. All right, APBA's back up on the screen, 68.2 miles an hour. And let's see where they are. Yep, they're coming up on the final turn. 68.2 miles an hour. Still waiting.
So then that would leave one boat remaining, and that would be the bat boat.
Correct.
Of course, again, hats off to the bat boat, the smallest boat, 24 feet in the class, an open boat. This was actually built as one of the pleasure boats. This isn't even, maybe this may have been an older race boat, but it's not one of their current race boats. As there is APBA still running just about 70 miles an hour. So Lucas Oil is done. The MTI is done. Patriotic Duty is done. APBA should be next up, and then the bat boat. Ocean Cup 2021 brought to you by Pacific Air Show, Car Share, Copenham, the Oppenheim Group, E3 Lithium Batteries and Spark Plugs, SD Land and Mobile, Lucas Oil Marine Products, Fletcher Jones Motor Cars, and the dock at Huntington Beach, California. And the Robert Renzoni Vineyard sponsoring the champagne celebration later today at the awards. Martin, I'll say this now. Give me a call when you have a couple minutes. We haven't talked in a while.
What's that? Oh, I'm sorry. What was that?
I said, give me a call when you have a couple of minutes. We haven't talked in a while.
Oh yeah, I will.
So APBA should be crossing checkpoint Alpha. And no information been provided yet on patriotic duty.
Okay, the bat boat is now within view of checkpoint Bravo. So we should have them popping up on our screen here any minute. The APBA's running 68 miles an hour coming up to the final.
Good to see this boat finish, as they were unable to run last year. They were scheduled to do it, then suffered a mechanical issue, unable to make it. So glad they were able to come out here and finish. Of course, this is hats off to all these teams for being able to finish. Martin, this is completely different than offshore boat racing. Of course, today it was pretty calm, but these are true races of attrition because of distance traveled.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no doubt. It's a whole different discipline also. The boats are completely set up differently. You're not having to go into turns side by side with somebody. You're focusing on just getting the best speed you can and picking your line. It's a speed record run. It's totally different. We actually got the speed run or the speed timing for patriotic duty. Sorry, there's just a slight echo and a delay in my ear, so it makes it kind of hard to talk. Patriotic duty was 1 hour, 36 minutes, and 0 seconds. They averaged 70.312 miles an hour. A little bit of information for everybody on CarShare also. They provide access to premium vehicles at competitive rates for those who are traveling, who want to have a different driving experience, or wish to enjoy the perks of owning a car without the responsibility of the upkeep. Far beyond being a place to rent cars, CarShare is a platform for financial security and social impact.
CarShare is the Airbnb of automobiles.
Exactly.
Which is a pretty cool thing when you think about it. So APBA has crossed the finish line now, it looks like. So they should be coming off a plane and done.
Just crossed.
So the last boat to run would be the bat boat. And Martin, I think the guys in patriotic duty have probably set themselves a pretty good bar to compete against next year, right? If they're going to be putting the bigger power in.
I think so, but they put the new power in. That boat's they're going to run an average of 20 miles an hour faster, probably.
Well, that'll be awesome. They'll be able to run up there with definitely run up there with maybe Nigel's speed in the Silverhook boat. Maybe next year Nigel will bring both boats out here. If you want to see Janet freak out, tell her they're going to make that happen. Of course, that team had to go through a lot of work just to get the cat out here. So, Eric, we have 2 questions on the chat for you. We have, what kind of patches are on your jacket?
What kind? Oh my gosh, all boat racing patches. You want to see? I can stand up.
Martin, you should narrate the jacket.
Let's see. He's got Bell, Northstock Marine Center, Kike for Marine, Cigarette, Hennessy the Hennessy California Cup, 1969-1973, Powerboat Magazine, Long Beach to Ensenada International, San Francisco, Catalina Fun Run, the Outboard World Championships.
Holy cow.
Long Beach 1969 to Ensenada, Sea Ray Boats, Long Beach Ensenada International, Hennessy Cup Long Beach, Long Beach to San Francisco, Pacific Offshore Powerboat Racing Association, that's where I started out, Galveston Island 250 Speed Classic. Oh man, it's all kinds of stuff on here.
That's pretty cool.
All hands sewn by my grandmother.
Awesome. So Eric, one more question for you. Did you do any of those races with your grandfather?
Oh, just lost my earpiece for a second.
Nope.
The ones on my jacket, I don't believe so, because I was a little young then, but I started racing with him when I was 18. And I ran a few seasons with him. I set a record with him from Canada to Mexico, 31 hours. If anybody would like to attempt that record, that would be a good one.
What was that? Say that again.
We set an offshore record from Canada to Mexico in 31 hours back in 1980. So if anyone would like to try to break it, that would be awesome.
Did Bob ever do the Mississippi run?
No.
Okay. But Martin, that was a speed run, speed record back in the day, wasn't it? It was like New Orleans to.
Yeah, it was. I don't know what the distance or what the 2 points were on that, but there's a few of those kind of well-known races out there that guys like to have the record for. I mean, the last one that I was involved with that was kind of like that when I was with Fountain was when they went from Key West to Cancun.
Were you with Fountain when they did the North Carolina to New York one, when Brian did it on that center console?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so we are just waiting right now for APBA's already finished. I'm waiting for their numbers, and we're waiting for the bat boat to pop up on our screen so we can see where they are. They should have passed checkpoint Bravo right now, on their way to checkpoint Alpha, and we're just waiting for their speeds to pop up on our telemetry, and then as soon as we get the information on APBA, we'll pass that on to you as well.
There's a beautiful shot of the Huntington Beach. That looks like good surfing conditions out there.
Well, the OP Championships were last weekend, so surfing's been happening. They call Huntington Beach Surf City. So the OP Championships are held here every year.
Hey, Michael Stancombe has joined us. Hello, Mr. Stancombe. Now, Martin, were you a surfer in your younger days?
Nope. I was actually in the early days. I enjoyed sailing, and then I went from blow boats to go boats.
There you go.
By the way, Griffin Colapinto won the U.S. Open of surfing.
What's the water temperature out there right now?
Probably in the mid-60s.
Okay. Not as cold as I thought it would be.
Yeah, but you're not surfing without a wetsuit, pretty much.
That I could believe. So, Martin, let's recap the MTI speed, Lucas Oil speed, and patriotic duty as we're still waiting to get data on APBA and, of course, waiting for the bat boat to still finish.
All right, the Lucas Oil, 60 minutes and 10 seconds at 112.9 miles an hour. The MTI was an hour, 39 minutes, and 5 seconds at 68.92 miles an hour. Patriotic Duty was an hour, 36.0 at 70.312 miles an hour. And I'm still waiting for APBA, and we're waiting for a bat boat to pop back up on our telemetry.
Of course, we talked about Chris Rendell was planning to have another boat out here, but I don't think it was able to get done in time. He's converted one of the bat boats to electric power, was trying to run it in the shootout, was trying to take it to Morehead City to race it. Maybe it will show up in Fort Myers or Englewood towards the last part of the year. Martin, where do you go from here?
I'll probably be in Fort Myers up next, back to California. I got to be in North Carolina at Fountain on Wednesday, and then back in Florida for Fort Myers.
So are you the race in Fort Myers?
Nope, I'll just be there at the race. I think I'm just doing the commentary stuff.
You're working with me again.
Yep. All right. So let's see the Ocean Cup schedule for 2022. In March, they're doing Puerto Rico to Pepalama. In April, Miami to Key West with Race World Offshore and Larry Beal. In June, the West Palm to Grand Bahama. In August, Trinidad and Tobago. October is the air show down here on September 30th.
Terrific.
All right, here's the speed for APBA. 1 hour, 41 minutes and 15 seconds, 66.666 miles an hour.
Wow.
That's not really lucky.
A lot of sixes there.
There's a lot of sixes.
Some people will consider that to be a bad omen.
Yes.
So as we're wrapping up the 2021 Ocean Cup, beautiful day in California. Of course, if you're out there, go check the boats out on Main later tonight. And of course, the Pacific Air Show taking place all weekend long here. Thanks to our sponsors, Pacific Air Show, Car Share, Robert Renzoni Vineyards, Copenhagen, the Oppenheim Group, E3 Lithium Batteries and Spark Plugs, SD Land and Mobile, Lucas Oil Marine Products, Fletcher Jones Motor Cars, and the dock at Huntington Beach, California.
All right, bat boat popped back up on our screen, showing 74.5 miles an hour.
Nice.
But their point is they're way off course right now. It shows on the screen.
Could that be the fog getting them a little bit?
Yeah, they missed it by a long way. They were actually almost lined up to go in Huntington Beach Harbor. So now they're running up the coast. And some information on SATCOM. SATCOM Direct provides complete end-to-end satellite communication solutions for enterprise, government, first responders, and adventure travelers. From small handheld sat phones to deployable satellite solutions, SATCOM Direct can meet the challenge. Sobham SATCOM is a worldwide leader in providing satellite hardware and communication solutions to maritime and aviation and land. Cobham. There you go. Sorry about that.
Martin, what do you think happened to the bat boat?
Don't know. Apparently somebody wasn't watching their GPS screen, or the GPS screen went out and they weren't watching their compass.
Fog probably definitely got the best of them, huh?
Probably. And at the speed their boat goes, that's really going to cost them time.
Definitely unfortunate for them, but they were still able to finish it, so that's what matters.
That's right. They're running 73 miles an hour right now down the coast. And then we will be done with the event. Get ready for the awards at 11:30 here at the Huntington Beach Pier. They're saying
Well, it's been a beautiful day.
I'm out of position there. But the GPS and the compass still work in fog. Oh, they intentionally drove around the fog. Gotcha. Well, if the visibility's bad, you don't want to be driving through fog at speed.
Well, especially with the 60-some-odd ships you said are out there.
That's right. The penalties assessed immediately, as Mike Tomlinson used to say. We were out testing one time for the Catalina ski race and pulling a skier back in, and we were pulling him in fog, and as we were coming back, all of a sudden the water kind of got this red glow in front of us, and once it cleared, it was a tanker coming across our bow, the red from underneath them. So it's like, wow, that was an attention getter.
You were a bit close to that, weren't you?
Yeah. Usually when we go out here, the biggest thing we got to mess with is whales. Because they leave a really funky wake.
Yeah, we get those here. Well, Martin, you're familiar. We get those here on the Chesapeake Bay quite a bit.
Yeah.
And you'd be running along, and it'd be flat calm, and then you'll find yourself in a 4 or 5 foot hole.
All right, we're waiting for them to get to the finish line there. They're pretty close. Maybe a half a mile to go. Running about 60 miles an hour right now for them as they come up to the pier.
We're pretty close at all 5 boats finishing today. That's really terrific.
And there was no fog on the way out, right?
I'm sorry, what was that, Mike?
There was no fog on the way out.
No, they didn't report any fog on the way out, but there's always a small haze layer. And usually about the time you get to the island, it clears up, and there's this clear donut around the island of absolutely clear. When you come back in, you're back into the fog again.
Yeah. It looks like the fog is about halfway through the channel. There's no fog about, I don't know, there's about a mile visibility I'm looking at.
All right, they are at the start-finish line. Looks like they're kind of turning to make that mark. And that should be the end for the bat boat. And we'll see them coming across our screen here in just a second on the pier shot.
And as they cross the start-finish line, that should actually be the conclusion of the Ocean Cup for 2021.
We see our other boats milling out there, or just bobbing out there off the end of the pier. And the bat boat should be coming across that image right about now.
Again, you've been watching the 2021 Ocean Cup live from Huntington Beach, California. Mike Uwaski, Martin Sandmorn, Eric Nordskog, and Tom Stewart from MTI
Oh, there they go.
bringing you this event.
Just finished.
All right, so they just finished. We'll see if we can get a time on them before we sign off from our live broadcast here. As soon as we get that, we'll give that to you, give you a recap of all the rest of the speeds, and then look forward to seeing anybody who's in the Southern California area around Huntington Beach is coming to the air show. You're welcome to come and join us at the award ceremony at 11:30.
And Martin, I'm going to take this moment and sign off. It was a pleasure getting to work with you again. Eric, it was a pleasure getting to see you again. Thanks to everybody that's watched live at home, the 2021 Ocean Cup. Enjoy the awards, and we'll see you in Fort Myers in just about a week.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. See you later.
All right, so as soon as we get the speed on the bat boat, we'll give that to you, and then we'll sign off here from Huntington Beach at the Kimpton Shorebreak Resort for the 2021 Ocean Cup here in Huntington Beach, California. Our trusty scribe looks like she's getting ready to write down the numbers for us. She's frantically writing. She's not writing what we wanted, though.
What do we got?
All right, just some of the other guys that are involved here we want to recognize. Rich Lures is our UIM observer. He's the president of APBA Offshore. Gene Stevens is the APBA timer. So this is an official speed record that runs in the international organization. The UIM is the International Sanctioning Authority for Powerboat Racing in the internationally, and the APBA is the international authority in the United States. The APBA stands for American Powerboat Association. And we're still waiting for that time on the bat boat.
Well, we look forward to seeing everybody come next year for the Ocean Cup #3. And we're hoping to get a lot more boats out here. So everybody on the East Coast, come on out. Come to the West Coast. Come see us, and we're going to have a great time out here.
And all you guys on the West Coast that have your boats just sitting in storage, this is a great place for you to come out. Let's get PAPRA up and strong again. They were one of the strongest clubs in APBA for years, and that's where I started racing. Nigel and I were racing out here back in the 80s and 90s. So this is definitely a great organization and great racing in offshore. In the Pacific, whole different animal. And, of course, we invite the East Coast guys to come out and make their way to the Pacific offshore events as well. Still waiting for that bat boat speed. Want to be fair to them and not disappear before we get a chance to talk to them or give them some recognition. Again, they've got a full schedule for the Ocean Cup Series next year for speed record runs. March is Puerto Rico. April is Miami to Key West. June is West Palm Beach to Grand Bahama Island. In August is Trinidad and Tobago. October is back here in Huntington Beach for the air show on September 30th. All right, I see you're frantically writing, so we've got it now.
Here we got it.
There we go. All right. So their time was 1 hour, 46 minutes, and 36 seconds. Their average speed was 63.32 miles an hour. So we'll go from the first boat out. Fastest one out there was Lucas Oil at 112.9 miles an hour. They made it in 1 hour and 10 seconds. Next one up was MTI. They made it in 1 hour and 31 minutes and 5 seconds at 68.92 miles an hour. Next up was Patriotic Duty. They were at 136 and did it in 70.312 miles an hour. APBA was 1 hour and 41 minutes and 15 seconds at 66.66 miles an hour. And rounding out the fleet, Bat Boat at 1 hour 46 and 36 seconds at 63.32 miles an hour. 5 boats finished, a 112-mile race. That's a great deal because this is about attrition. So, you know, it's a little different than having 30 boats on a race course that are out there deck to deck. These guys all ran their own individual race. Records have been set. What a great day of racing here in Huntington Beach.
Absolutely. We want to thank our crew here at Ocean Cup for doing such a great job, and my partner here, Martin, and we'll all see you next year.
Comment? I'm sorry?
On this live stream, there's a comment. We'd like to thank the Pacific Air Show.
We can't see new comments.
Oh, you can't? Okay.
Nope.
You take it. Okay, you say it. All right, let me see this.
It just, there you go.
All right, guys, we'd like to thank the Pacific Air Show for hosting our event. We'd also like to thank CarShare for being our main sponsor. We'd like to thank the Oppenheim Group, Lucas Oil, Satcom Direct, Cobham Marine, Robert Renzoni Wines, and also the Shorebreak Hotel here in Huntington Beach for letting us use their space.
All right, folks. Thanks for joining us here at the 2021 Ocean Cup. We'll see you next year. And if you're here in town, we welcome you to be at the award ceremony at 11:30. I'm Martin Sanborn. Thanks for joining us. What happened? Was the other place not able to? I saw that.
So
You got to work with what you
made
got.
it happen. You got it done. This is your brother's laptop here.
His iPad, yeah.
His iPad.